So there's a look at District 32-5A, your first look at a district right here on Countdown to Kickoff 2011, your Valley preview. And joining me are the guys from 956sports.com. It's Jake Berry, it's Greg Silver. Guys, thanks so much for joining me, and let's get right into it. Let's talk about this Lower Valley district, the Brownsville schools, Weslaco, San Benito, Los Fresnos. Greg, talk to me about how you see this district playing out during the year.
Well, it's going to be, to me, something to watch to see which of the newer coaches down in Brownsville will make the most progress the soonest, right? Because you've got a lot of new people. You've got some good young coaches, some veterans. This is the second year for many of them when we had that onslaught of new guys. You know, which program is going to start to carve out a niche as a competitor? I think, a couple of years back we saw Hannah under the veteran Chavez. Which one of those new teams, I think that we're going to keep an eye on that. I'm not quite sure if I know which one it's going to be, but somebody's going to come to the fore out of the 4 or 5 teams down there that is going to surprise us.
How about the other 3, the non-Brownsville schools, Jake?
Well, I think what you're going to see is Weslaco has become, basically they've gotten out of that lull that was after Meshack. And now they've actually built their program back up, and they look like the powerhouse in that district. I mean, what you want to see is if Los Fresnos has improved since last year under Coach Finley, and if Coach Gann at San Benito has been able to make strides and implement his offense and get a good defense to go behind that offense.
All right, well, let's go ahead and talk about your picks then. Jake, let's start with you. Who are the 4 teams you have making the playoffs out of this district, and who's your district champion?
Well, I think the district champ is probably the easiest one, probably for all of us, I hope. It's Weslaco. They've got the most returning starters coming back. They've got 15 returning starters from an undefeated district championship season.
That's the most in Valley 5A total, all 3 5A districts, yeah.
They've got a quarterback coming back, Madrigal. I got to see him play this summer. It looks like he got to mature a little bit playing against some tough competition in College Station. So I like Weslaco to take the top spot. Now, 2, 3, and 4 could probably go any which way. I think Pace is good enough to be 2 or 3, but I've got them at 4. I'm going to go in a little bit different order. I've got San Benito at 2 and Los Fresnos at 3. I think that it can go either way, especially after the way Pace played against Harlingen in the scrimmages. I know it's just scrimmages, but they showed a lot because Harlingen comes strong in scrimmages. So that's the way I have it right now.
All right. Well, let's talk about your picks in this one then, Greg.
Well, I got Weslaco right now at the number 1 spot. I think the most impressive thing about that team is the interior lines. They got some big offensive linemen. They got great defensive ends, playmakers. This Grimaldo and Montiel, I've always been impressed with. I thought he is a really high-motor football player. So that's where a lot of games are won and lost. I tend to try to see who's got the horses coming back on the interior lines that have experience. And I know that there's some skilled players. Obviously, they touch the ball and make a big difference. But sometimes they can't do what they want to do if you don't have the strong offensive line and or defensive line. I see Weslaco right now as a pick. The thing is, everybody says, well, who will the running backs be? Does it really matter? They always find 2 or 3 guys. I think Anciso is going to be one of the guys, and he can go to the house in a second. They'll find some guys with the offense they run. There'll be 4, 5, 6 guys carrying the ball. I see the Panthers on top there. As far as the second-place team, for some reason, I'm thinking Los Fresnos has a pretty good chance. There's a second year for Clint Finley. There are no surprises. Everybody knows what he wants to do. He knows the kids, and they know him. They've got some big offensive linemen. They got a new quarterback, so we're going to have to see how that works. But they got this other guy, Christian Lozoya, playmaker. I mean, when I saw him play, he was on offense, on defense. He's making a lot of things happen. He's the kind of guy who can get you 7 points. He can turn the game 7 points for or against in a hurry. So I like those Fresno second. Let's see, third place, Brownsville Pace. They've been the leader of the Brownsville Pack for several years. They lost a lot of kids.
Right.
And so you know that you have a pretty good program established. When you lost a ton and you're still up here in the top 2, 3, 4, and all the predictions, the magazines, all those teams believe that Pace has what it takes. They've got a good quarterback coming back. One of the few teams with a starter coming back. They got some big play receivers. I think that team is going to be dangerous, and their early performance against Harlingen seems to show that that's the case. For San Benito, I feel like this is an important year for that program. It's been on the edge of being successful. It has some, this is the time for those guys to make it happen. They've got skill player talent in abundance. They got a couple of veteran offensive linemen. So I'm not going to say any team needs to make the playoffs because I'm not putting a negative onus on anybody. But I think if I were a San Benito guy, I would say, okay, now this is our year. We're going to put it together and we're going to win 8 or 9 games this year.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, Jacob Puente going in at quarterback after
good athlete.
Yeah. He's definitely good. I've got San Benito actually coming in at number 3 in the district. I've got Pace coming in at number 2. Weslaco, of course, number 1. Like you said, whether it's Enciso or Jonathan Montez or who, it's like the Denver Broncos of several years ago. It doesn't matter who you put in at running back, they're going to get a 2,000-yard season, it seems, it appears, most of the time. Pace looks good. Dustin Hernandez, one of the fine young quarterbacks here in the Valley. He's got Sam Trejo, who is a returning 1,000-yard rusher. My 4th team I've actually got is Brownsville Rivera, and I'm not sure exactly why, because they might be the youngest team in the entire district. You talked about second-year coaches, Coach David Cantu in his second year there, but I think he's really generated some excitement. Of course, they had that 3-way tie for 3rd, and they were the odd man out of the tiebreaker last year, so they didn't quite make the playoffs. But it seems like his numbers are up. It seems like he's got a lot of kids coming in who are excited about the program. He's getting kids from other sports. They've got Jaquil Evans, who is coming in from track.
Yeah, that guy is supposed to be something. I want to see him play.
And his cousin, Dominique Whitaker, who's coming in from basketball, who's going to be a wide receiver and a tall one at that. I don't know. I just like they are young and they are inexperienced and they don't have J.J. Sanchez, the quarterback anymore. But I do like Rivera.
If they did, I would have picked him up there. And see, the thing about the teams we picked is that none, aside I suppose from Weslaco, are unimpeachable. In other words, if that's the case and Rivera is as good as you say, then I could easily see them bumping into that mix. In fact, any of the Brownsvilles, if they happen to put together, Porter's got some weapons.
Right.
Hannah's got some good young offensive players. There's Chris Silva and a couple other guys. So, none of the teams is bereft of some sort of talent. It's just a matter of building confidence, winning some games early on, and making the kids believe that, hey, we can do this. Rivera was so close last year, so maybe they'll carry it through. I had them close there. So.
Right.
Well, I can see your point. With Los Fresnos, it could go either way. They only have 2 returning defensive starters. They have 7 on offense, though, so they have enough to score with people, but will they be able to stop anybody in the early part of the season?
And that's been their problem the last couple of years.
And they've got, their defense has to grow real quick.
All right, we are coming right back on Countdown to Kickoff.